Take you back to our top story. Former President Jacob Zuma says he's ready for a political comeback. In a statement on social media, the 80-year-old says he's available for the position of ANC chairperson. That's, of course, if he's nominated by ANC branches. It was posted on his daughter Dudu Zuma Sambulga's Twitter page. He says he's been approached to avail himself for the position. Well, let's get some reaction on this. We've been doing so since this morning. There's more of it now with political analyst David Maimela. David, good afternoon. I want to talk to you about this, Jacob Zuma's situation first, but I also want to hear your views a little bit later about what's been happening at the Cosatu 14th National Congress. Should we be surprised about this statement coming out of the former president, Jacob Zuma, saying first he's still backing Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma as he did in 2017 to be the president of the ANC, and secondly, he's here that some people want him to stand as chairperson, and if he's nominated, he's available.
Yeah, well, Dan, I think, as you know, in politics, as we say, anything is possible. And as we say, also, a week is quite a long time. So I do think that the return of Jacob, or rather his availability, actually tells us more about the renewal program as rather having stalled or not taking off the ground as it should. Because the expectation by now is that the cadreship of the ANC that has fought the struggle for liberation should more or less be in a position now, almost 30 years later, and perhaps should have done so even much earlier. At least a large contingent of them should have handed over the baton to the new generation of equally highly capable and experienced cadres within the party. But that has not happened, so it calls into question the role of the youth structures in the ANC and whether the young people or the younger generation or the cohort that is supposed to ascend to leadership, what is their role, what are they doing, and why are they struggling to actually emerge?
Yeah, and then it's very interesting that coming from his province, today the Provincial Executive Committee of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal stating very clearly that they want Dr. Zweli Mkhize to run for president come December, plus, of course, the other positions.
Yeah, I mean, this could mean a few things. First, for KZN ANC, it could mean that the party in the province is divided in terms of leadership preferences. And usually this does not often happen much, especially for the top six. I'm saying in terms of different contestations or different names coming for a similar position from one province. That's not the case, but what you rather find as a tradition, at least since 2007, is that you will have a lot of candidates across the country going for the position of president. Yep. But in this regard, I think it sort of will weaken the regional lobby position of KZN as a bloc, if you will. Not that it means that every province goes to the national conference as a united bloc, but I think if you look at the Polokwane experience and the Mangaung experience, it really helped a lot the KZN province to succeed in nominating an alternate.
Yeah, but the KZN provincial executive has decided to support Zweli Mkhize, and should we take, therefore, Jacob Zuma's view as just a personal and individual expressing his preference, but then the collective structure, the official elected provincial structure, is putting its weight behind Zweli Mkhize, and that should carry weight?
Yeah, well, that's well, it really depends, because as the ANC constitution actually says very clearly that the national conference is actually a conference of branches, and so that means leading up to the national conference, the nomination for leadership or for the National Executive Committee should likewise actually come from branches,
okay,
and not from provinces.
yeah.
But
So
what you
on
get,
the day itself,
what you get is that.
Yeah, sorry, David. On the day itself at the conference, somebody can be nominated from the floor. We're going to have to watch and see how this is going to develop, because currently we know of Limpopo, of Gauteng, I think Mpumalanga, Northern Cape and Northwest, saying that they are for a second term for Maimela Cyril Ramaphosa. Okay, enough about the ANC's internal nomination process. There's still more exciting weeks ahead of us. But what was dramatic was what we saw yesterday, David, in Midrand at Cosatu's 14th National Congress, where the chairperson of the ANC, Mantashe, was going to deliver a message from his party as the leader of the tripartite alliance, that is the ANC, was prevented from doing so. And they said that they will talk about it, and maybe they'll come back today. He'll speak. Even today, he's not been allowed to speak, and we understand he's left the building. What's the significance of this? I don't recall in recent history where the ANC, as the leader of the tripartite alliance and the senior member of the tripartite alliance, has been prevented from delivering its message, either by the president or, in this case, by the chairperson. This is like a first in a long time, if it ever had happened before. It's quite significant in my view.
No, I think sometimes it actually gets avoided when leaders actually don't go. But also you have had situations where, like on May Day, I think some few years ago on May Day, the president was actually booed by the very same members of Cosatu. Yeah, so I mean, it does happen, but I wonder if it actually signals anything important, because national conference after national conference, Cosatu still chooses to align with the ANC politically, ideologically, and electorally. And so until we get signals that there is a change in the elite pact within the alliance, then the dramatic scenes at national conference really mean very little. What we should be watching, because as I'm saying, even these nominations of provincial executive structures for national conference in the ANC are all about elite pact understandings and elite pact creations within the structures. It is the same even with Cosatu. So until they actually take a resolution to say they want to discontinue or they want to restructure the alliance in whatever form, then I don't think we should read much to the drama that took place.
Thank you very much for your views and insights. That's political analyst David Maimela.